Radiant team ban.
All right, we are back. This is game number 2, the second series of the night for the American Dota League, season number 2, week number 4. A lot of numbers coming at you at CNB Esports Club, going against Union Gaming, a battle of a little bit of that Southern American flavor, if you will. The Brazilian squad going against the Peruvian team. Don't worry, everyone. I will not be alone in this second go-around. Greg, What Is Hip TV, is going to be joining me as my co-caster for the first time on the side of me. This is my first time behind the wheel for the ADL. Greg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I gotta admit, I was playing the drinking game for the pauses last time around. So, yeah. Wow. So, no, I can't be responsible for my actions.
That's fine, and definitely if you're just tuning in, the drinking game is definitely going to still be going tonight, just because we got to expect it. And what that means is every time a sweet pause comes out, you go ahead and take a sip of your favorite beverage right there, whether it's a nice bourbon old-fashioned, or maybe for some of you younger ones like Arteezies and whatnot, have a nice little apple juice. That might be pretty good for you. So go ahead and get that up. As far as the draft goes, Greg, we're missing someone here in this first banning phrase. I believe it's an Ember Spirit. What's the over-under that it's going to be grabbed up right here?
I'm not sure. I think he's still pretty good. I played a couple pubs with all the changed heroes. I think Ember is still okay. He's not, dumb anymore. He can't just solo kill someone at, level 7. He's still very good, though. I'm not sure.
He's good, Greg.
I've noticed Centaur has gotten considerably worse. I think he's still playable, but the new Hoof Stomp mana cost is it's brutal.
It's brutal, but we still got to see Centaur do a lot of work in the previous game. But Ember's he's still good. I mean, his damage was nerfed, but all the tools he has are still there. The heavy mobility, the quick chains, the fist is still ridiculous. It's got huge range. I'm pretty sure they also didn't change it where he can still do it to people in the fog, which I think is ridiculous.
It's just a damage nerf. Although something to note about the chains is now the damage applies over a faster period of time. Because it's the same damage, just you have to get 4 levels in it to get the full 3-second disable on the chains. Like I said, I still think he's pretty good. I'm not sure if he's first pick, first ban, slam in every single lineup, but he still seems playable.
It should go without saying. I would imagine that CNB are probably going to pick it up here and then a defensive support. We might see the Ember Tree or the Ember Dazzle. That's my wager right now for the first 1-2 punch coming out from CNB. For Union Gaming, though, they actually grab up, once again, the Naga Siren going to be played. Throw out your resident sleepers or what have you. I mean, the game plan is essentially the same all around. This Naga Siren will probably be either in the mid lane or safe lane and kind of just, look to farm up that Radiance and to just be a pain in the ass all over the map. I mean, what is it to say? Greg, you're a Naga player, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you think? Do you ever just get bored of watching Naga play in these games?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty boring. It's pretty boring to watch. It's pretty fun to play, though, because if you like hitting creeps, Naga's your hero. I mean, you can definitely hit some creeps with Naga. I think her nerfs were probably warranted. It's still really annoying to kill them. However, they deal a little less damage now, so I think it's fine. But Radiance still does the full burn, I'm pretty sure. So that's really the main thing. Is your Radiance is still very good. So I think the nerfs they did just kind of brought the dumb heroes down a couple notches. Ember especially, it was just really dumb. You could solo kill people so easily. Terrorblade, same thing. Obviously, he's not in captain's mode, but his lane dominance was just absolutely absurd. So I think Centaur got some well-needed nerfs as well. That hero seemed a little bit too good in the earlier parts of the game.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, if it's turning to a point where we're just kind of easily predicting the first part of the draft and it's always the same kind of top 5 heroes, something needs to change a little bit. And for now, a lot of teams are not really moving out of that comfort zone just yet.
This is normal.
Yeah, so give it a couple of weeks. You're going to start seeing some new faces, and definitely around TI time, I would be surprised the meta is going to flip upside down on its head altogether. So we'll see how it goes. For now, as called, Ember Spirit picked up first. They actually go for Darkseer in the off lane, and then they're going to follow it up with a Storm Spirit. Now, the last go around, CNB had the Naga on their team, and I really like the game plan that Union Game were doing. They were doing a heavy push strat, really just trying to bring them into the base really, really quickly, not let the game go past 30 minutes, and it worked really nicely. It restricted Naga's farm a bit, and it kind of kept her on her toes. Now, I want to see what CNB's game plan is going to be going against the Naga. For now, it's seeming like a bit of a wombo combo factor, and do you think this is going to be risky at all when you're going against the likes of that song?
It definitely could be. I think the Disruptor is a good pick against Naga, though, because the illusions will get Radiance Burn that you make, and then also Disruptor or Darkseer rather benefits from a lot of space. And Naga is not really a mid that puts pressure on other lanes. Really, in some lanes you even rely on other people to come put pressure on your lane. So it's a very passive, very farm-heavy mid laner. And someone like a Darkseer will benefit from that greatly because he won't have to worry about ganks nearly as much, assuming that this is a mid Naga. So I think it's a pretty smart pickup in this lineup. You know, what you're mentioning with their like wombo combo lineup, it's definitely something that they need to worry about, but I think they'll be able to execute pretty easily with the Storm Spirit pull and then the Burrow Strike on top of that. It's a pretty long disable, and there should be enough time in there for them to get a wall vacuum off and Ember Spirit to just load on the damage, because Naga doesn't have a ton of HP. She does have a shitload of armor, so you really want to use magic damage to try to kill her, especially in the early and mid game. But I think CNB, if they execute correctly, should have a good shot here. The Disruptor, I think, is probably a bigger problem for them.
No, I absolutely can agree with all of that. But I can't help but notice, man, CNB, their first 4 picks, they look great. Bunch of handsome men right here we're working with. But it's feeling a little greedy right here. It's feeling a little greedy because
definitely a little greedy.
I mean, Sand King, you can always fall back and go into the jungle, but then that means Darkseer has nothing to fall back on in case his off lane goes to hell, which Union Gaming might look to do. And if he can't get a lot done in his lane, I mean, he'll always get a little bit of reliable gold with the help of Ion Shell. But, you know, if he has to result in getting his farm for a mechanism or a blink dagger, what have you, elsewhere, there's not going to be a lot of places to go. This team should also be looking to make stacks maybe for Ember Spirit to take down. They should be, you know, looking for the opportunity for Storm Spirit to get those early levels and maybe get an Orchid or something going for himself. So it's looking very greedy. They're going to need to get a very selfless support here for their 5th and final pickup.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Darkseer is it's pretty hard for him to get completely annihilated in lane. Usually you can at least stick around the lane. It's not like Batrider where sometimes you just like, you know, you pull the abort button and just get the hell out of there. But I wonder if this is going to be an easy lane Viper. That's certainly not great for Darkseer. Pretty long attack range on Viper and can make things a little bit complicated. So,
yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see where this journey takes us right here. I'm always intrigued by kind of a Viper pickup right here, and what looks like could potentially be a, safe. I don't know. They have a lot of flexibility on this Union Gaming team, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was them as well that I was getting really perplexed about what they were thinking about doing in the last game, and it kind of just really hit me as a surprise. I mean, they went with a nice support Mirana, which I would think that they might consider going with again because it did a lot of work for them. So we'll have to see. And look at this, 5th pick Jakiro. This is the second time tonight, Greg, I've seen a Jakiro grabbed up, and I like it. I like Jakiro. He got a really nice set of buffs. Obviously, the obvious buff is the Aghanim Scepter. Though in competitive play, I don't think this is someone who will get an Aghanim Scepter unless it's luxury, and then it's great.
Seems
but
unlikely.
The other buffs are still very important. The dual breath range has been extended, so enemies can't easily just see it coming and run away. They'll still potentially get hit by it, which is the whole point of it. So it makes it a lot easier to land. And also his Liquid Fire, I believe the cooldown or something like that was reduced. And Liquid Fire is a fantastic ability, and it can do a lot of damage on pushing, a lot of damage on towers, and just the wave in general. So I'm happy to see it back. From what I remember, it didn't get a lot done the last go around, so hopefully for this time CNB can really do a lot of work with this Jakiro.
Well, they last picked a Nyx Assassin. Their lineup's a little sketchy. I don't really know. Okay, so this is going to be Carry Viper since IWO is playing it. So I guess we're looking at. I don't know if you can tri-lane with the Viper. I don't know. This is kind of a weird lineup.
Maybe they'll go more aggressive with it. Maybe look to contest up the core lane of. Then I'm looking at CNB side, and I'm like, is this going to be a side lane?
Ember Sand King tri-lane, I think.
Yeah.
Jakiro.
Oh,
Because
I mean, we'll
it's
see.
40R is playing the Storm, so.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We're going to jump into the game, and if you watching want to jump into the game alongside us, you can get the ticket in the store right now. And by the way, first drink comes out already, nice and ripe and early, just like always. Southern American Dota style, baby. First game pause, take that sip. But
ready.
anyways, yeah, are you drinking still as well?
Oh yeah.
All right, fantastic.
I'm all, I got here a little late, so I'm still on my first beer. We'll keep it on.
What you gotta do?
I mean,
You
one
gotta
beer,
get
swear.
the towers. The towers, they have to go down. Could be a hot mess.
Oh man, well, you bought the Nyx Assassin what Centuries? Is this gonna be an offlane Mirana? Is this like throwback to 6 months ago?
Who knows?
Could be
Maybe
okay.
they're even plotting it out now during the pause. For all we know, trying to make secondary decisions of what they want to do. Nova, it's rattling my mind. Angel was the offlane Centaur last go around. Okay?
Alright, this is an offlane Mirana.
It could be an offlane Mirana. Now they also could be changing roles. A lot of these teams do it from time to time.
Well,
Jericho's
between that,
but
Nyx Assassin bought the Centuries too, so I think it's gonna be an offlane Mirana. That's kind of neat. I haven't seen this in a while. It's pretty good. The good news is that I don't actually know if it's great news, but Leap goes through chains, so their easy setup should be pretty easy for him to get out of, and then it will make it much harder for the Burrow Strike and the Ice Path. So I think he's got some potential to do okay in this lane. He could, if Leap's on cooldown, he gets caught though, he might be screwed. Are they going aggro? Tavo is heading bottom, I think. Oh,
yeah, it is potential.
what is happening? I'm confused, man.
Ember to lead down.
If they aggro tri-lane with an Ember, I will be in a state of disbelief.
This also looks like it could. No, they're not going to do like a 2-1-2 here. Well, we'll find out in just a moment.
Alright, there we go.
Yep.
It went back to the normal way.
Yep, all dispersing all over the place. What the hell is happening? But I guess we could start off with some introductions as we do eventually hop into the game. I'll start off with the winners of the last go-around, Union Gaming, the Peruvian side here. Leading out the front, we got Viper, going to be played by the carry player, Ewo, as he looks to head right down the mid lane here. Probably will look to go elsewhere. We got Jericho playing your support Disruptor, leading out the front. Mirana, we got Angel. He's going to be playing the off-lane throwback Mirana here, so we'll keep tabs and see how she holds up there. We got Nova playing your side lane more core Naga Siren, and then, of course, Nyx Assassin is going to be played by Zinderals. I don't know if this was a name change or a new player or what, but he's going to play your Nyx Assassin.
On the other side of things, we have CNB. We've got the stand-in in the bottom lane. We're going to call him the Darkseer because I'm going to insult people if I try to pronounce that name. In the mid lane, we've got 40R on the Storm Spirit. Wandering through the jungle is Baga on the Jakira. Up in the top lane is Tavo on the Ember Spirit. And wandering through the jungle once again is Ned or Nedbone on the Sand King. And, well, this is kind of interesting. Union Gaming, I've seen them do this before with a couple of heroes. They'll swap IWO to the mid lane. I think when they play Storm, they do this too. And this is going to be a safe lane Naga, so this is a pretty shitty matchup for the Storm Spirit, though. I feel bad for him. This is pretty hard.
And you are one who knows his Storm Spirit, so he's going to have to contest it up and go for the Viper here, a hero who can take a lot of beating and still be able to kite around the likes of this hero. And Storm Spirit is going to have a bit of a hard time till he can get to level 6 and get that ball lightning and really try to get the ball rolling, but
he got hosed on the block, too.
Yep, and the block is way up in his favor. He gets to have the benefit of that high hill, looking to bash on below as Storm Spirit just tries to find anything to his name. But top lane, they're already doing a bit of aggression here. Jakiro and the Nyx Assassin squatting it out, and he did go with the level 1 Liquid Fire, already putting it to work there on your Nyx Assassin, and they will step back in the meantime.
They're actually dual laning at the moment in top lane. I'm not sure how efficient this is. Seems... I don't know. It doesn't seem like a great idea. Both these heroes really need levels, and I mean, Mirana in the offlane is kind of weird because you're basically just relying on Arrow and Starstorm at that point. You're not really relying on her to have any physical damage because she gets so underfarmed. So I guess maybe their goal to put a dual lane up here is to actually try to secure a little bit of farm for Angel, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. Wow, mid lane, 40R is already taking a huge beating.
40R taking a lot of punishment over by the tower as the Viper does what he does best, a little bit of orb walk action. They were trying to make a hunt happen here on the Darkseer, who does manage to step away. This is a very elusive hero. He only has Ion Shell just yet, but once he gets level 2, it's going to get a lot harder to try to make a pick-off happen on him with the help of Surge. But they do have a Disruptor here, and that Glimpse can really cancel out anything the Surge had going for him. They actually see him here on the side. They throw out the Thunderstorm. He doesn't have Surge. No, he does have Surge now. Throws it out. Does not. Oh, they toss the Ensnare. Oh, they're not going to get him, but they're just going to smack him a few times, and they'll step back.
Yeah, this is why I was kind of wondering about this dueling top, because if Nyx was in this lane with Impale, that would have easily been a kill.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no problem.
Maybe
that's kind of weird. I don't know. Because as soon as you see that he only has Ion Shell, you know that you have a very good opportunity to kill the Darkseer. But the thing, it's kind of a conundrum for Darkseer, because if you take Surge first, then you might just never get level 2. So, kind of weird. Some brushing in the top lane, though.
Trades coming back and forth here. A little more punishment coming on this Nyx Assassin, though. He's actually might fall here, and he will. Baga, able to pick up the first blood with the Twin Head Dragon, taking down the Nyx Assassin, sending him right back to the base. So very nice. CNB, after their previous loss, looking to try to get things started really early here. And, well, we were questioning why the Nyx Assassin was even joining this Mirana. My only hunch was just maybe even with just Leap, it's just not going to be enough. There's just a lot of lockdown coming out. If this Ember Spirit manages to land the Shackles, then with the following up of a Burrow Strike and then an Ice Path, she's not going to be able to leap away from anything. So she does have to be careful, and same goes for this Nyx here.
Yeah, the Nyx also doesn't have a level in Spike Carapace. That might have gotten him out of that last engagement. This is kind of just a choice when you go into lane. Picking up Mana Burn instead of Spike Carapace, pretty clear declaration. They're going to try to be aggressive in the lane. You're going to try to put the pressure on and get the edge. You get Spike Carapace, you're really just saying, I'm just going to try to live, please don't kill me. Oh, 40 are going to die in the mid lane.
Or walking to town, one more hit would do it, but he doesn't know. He gets it with the poison, the dot. Able to take it in, and now Ewo, who was once in the side lane, now making his debut in the mid lane tonight, doing a very nice job, putting on a nice mini show here, just classic orb walk, taking down the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, he has a very old school build as well. I think this build is still a bit more popular in the mid lane, where you get 3 points in poison attack. It used to be this because you would then run it, you would have no cooldown on orbs, so every time you auto attacked, you could use it. But in the mid lane, it's still pretty popular because you get in situations like that where you can't really dive the tower too much further. So the added dot from the poison is very nice. But in like the side lane, you basically always level Nether Toxin because it already has 0 cooldown, and you know you can go much further since the tower is much further away. Oh, he's going to run into Ned here.
Yep, they've been waiting a long time. They could have gone on a little bit earlier when he was low life, but no, they're going to let it go. In the meantime, they kind of just walk side by side, and nothing really comes of it. That was a bit interesting of a choice, but regardless, I guess 40R has the space to move top and get this room, but has to be careful. Viper comes in from behind, but Jakiro is coming in also, so he does have to be cautious. We'll be able to slow him down and just kind of walk away from this and just really take advantage of that kiting ability that Viper has.
Well, so far the lanes are going really well for the Radiant. Oh my god, Tavo gets hit by an arrow in the top lane. He's actually going to die here. Goes for the Star Storm. Gets the double proc. Oh.
But not quite.
That was close.
Close, but not quite. Coming out from the Nyx Assassin, couldn't quite get the Impale going, but regardless, Tavo able to hold her in place. We gotta be careful. From behind comes Jakiro, throwing out that dual breath with that little bit of extra range, popping on both here, taking a little bit of dot damage and slow down. Nyx putting himself in a corner, stuns himself out. They're feeling very eager, but he's got to be careful as Burrow Strike comes on through, throws out the Mana Burn, but will not survive and ends up being taken down. And you do not want to be handing over early kills to Tavo on this Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I think they need to swap back to whatever their other player was before. This guy's feeding. I don't know why. Like, he walked himself into a corner there. I guess that's some slight flame. That might even be considered heavy flame, but he was in a fine position, and then he sort of just walked himself into this tree line. Should have just walked back. At least tried to avoid it. Going that way, you pretty much guarantee you're going to die. I guess maybe it makes you live a little bit longer, because he did buy his boost there right at the end, but I don't know.
Touching base with
this dual lane is just weird. I don't know why they're doing this.
It's a bit awkward. They feel like they're kind of getting something done, but it just ends up always blowing up in their face because it's getting a bit predictable, I would assume, coming from CNB. So, but they're making up for it in this mid lane, man. Ewo is just putting on a clinic right now, 440R. 40R 17 CS. Viper's got 25, and at this point in the game in the mid lane, that's pretty significant for this Viper. And I'm curious where he's going to take it. He'll probably move it into the mechanism. This kind of helps out. It allows Disruptor to kind of invest in something else. We've seen Disruptors go straight for Agnum Scepters when they're on the teams of someone like a Viper who can go for the mech instead. So we'll see if it's something they fall back on. But 40R eats a bit of damage, and finally with that Ball of Lightning, we'll be able to step back.
I guess the good news is they have gotten decent levels on this Nyx Assassin somehow. They're both 4 and 5 from the top lane. I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that they did that well. So that's something they have going for them. But Mirana CS, it's pretty good, actually. I don't know. This seems to have worked out a little bit.
I'm going to trade blows in the mid lane here. Ewo's got to be troubled here as he gets pulled back and eats a lot of punishment, but nothing will come up. Yep, I know. Nova pulls out, eating a lot of damage. That Liquid Fire apparently just going to town, has to pull out the defensive song and make a run for it. But a Surge Sand King trying to make a run below, sees Jericho, but isn't looking for Jericho. But regardless, he'll take the opportunity to go on Jericho. Stuns on through with the help of the Ion Shell, doing a bit of damage, and even the Sandstorm to fly, but it will not be enough. There's the Impale coming in, and well, Mana Leak to fly out. Sand King's got nowhere to go, and he falls to one more right click, so very nice for the Nyx Assassin.
On the backside of things, Viper's about to pick up a double kill. He was able to take down the Jakiro and the Darkseer both on their way out, so this Viper's doing really well.
Yep, all on the backside, just getting his own thing done while the rest of the team are unfortunately getting caught out. And now 4DR might be looking to come in from behind this top lane. There goes the early Moonlight Shadow. He doesn't have any sort of detection here, and unfortunately will not catch out the resplendent Mirana Queen here. And she will step to the side shop in the meantime. Mirana steps all the way back to the tower, and nothing really ends up coming of it.
Well, things are going swimmingly for Union. Looks like they've rotated this Nyx out of the top lane permanently, so this is kind of nifty the way they did this. I'm surprised it worked, but I mean, they secured the Mirana some farm, secured her some levels. Now she can pretty much hold her own in this lane. With max level Starstorm, it's pretty easy for her to burst down someone if they try to go on her. So that's kind of nifty. And now I think he's just going to roam around, use Impale, try to get level 6, and then just progress as normally.
We got an Invis Nedbone coming in on the mid lane here on the Sand King. Now, deprived a little bit of level action here. Only level 3, not much farm to work with. Hasn't really taken the opportunity to move into a jungle and kind of sandstorm up a little bit of gold for himself. But instead, just being very patient, trying to wait out maybe an opportunity to catch Ewo here. But Ewo is playing it safe. I think he knows something's missing. Arrow fly on top lane. Will not catch on anyone, and now he is getting a bit of reinforcements as Nyx Assassin makes his appearance, throws down a sentry ward, but he himself is not level 6 quite yet, but nice little counter ward in exchange.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah, that's always good. I mean, it makes the Mirana much safer as well, and now he's going to have to decide if he wants to use Leap. Oh, that's awkward.
Oh, that's save and Pale, and they turn it back on the Ember Spirit. Very nice coming out. Jakiro throws out the Dual Breath and steps back. Wow, he thought he had that one, but the desperate leap coming up from Mirana and that Impale to save her, just with the nick of life left, just like nothing left. Turns it around and casually throws out the arrow and bursts down the Ember Spirit, and he falls. And now he's 1 and 2. So Ember Spirit.
That was
not doing
really
the best.
nice.
Yeah.
What happened there was he didn't leap. He waited like a really long time, and basically the Ember had to use the spirits where he thought she was going to go, and she was able to dodge the spirit damage by just a little bit, so she didn't take the full damage and lives from it. So no complaints there. That's pretty sweet.
Bottom lane, a bit of a small tiff. Disruptor catches out the Storm Spirit trying to ball lightning in and instantly glimpses his back. And, well, I also happen to miss off my first kill. Unfortunately, the time had to come. Top lane Mirana gets a quick pick off on the Jakiro, pulls out the Moonlight Shadow, looking to run back forward. With the help of that sentry, knows that there's no sort of apparent vision on her. Looking to bottle up here. Has the arrow available, but does not see the opportunity to make something happen. Mid lane, they're making a go on 40R. Oh, nice ball lightning. Will get away from that bind and will not be taken down from the likes of these three.
Yeah, it's hard to gank the Storm at this point. This is the part where it gets a little more difficult. He is level 8. He doesn't have a ton of farm though. I mean, this early lane has definitely not gone great for him. The laning phase was pretty much a failure, so he's at a huge disadvantage at this point.
Yep, and we'll see. As far as progress of farm, man, Mirana takes a lot of punishment. Just eating one set of chains brings her down to like a third life. It's getting a bit ridiculous, but she trades it back with the Starfall of her own, Slide of Fist right back, and the Burrow Strike! Oh, just trying to gamble and just trade with this Ember Spirit, and eventually just does not work out in the end as he gets a little bit of help from that Sand King, and it's just enough to take apart that Mirana. So he gets a bit of early redemption for that early time when Mirana got him in the face.
Yeah, that was a pretty crucial kill for him, though. Unfortunately, the Sand King got it, but he still got some XP from it, and, well, he's having to head home now. His start's not as good as you'd hope, and really Union are just out-farming CNB pretty hard. I mean, they're up about 3,000 gold and 5,000 XP, and we haven't even had a tower go down yet.
Very nice pick off here in the bottom lane. Darkseer was glimpsed so far back from Jericho here. Jericho has a level 3 glimpse, so he has plenty of range to work with. Takes him all the way right back to here.
Oh, mid lane. They're going in on 40R. Starstorm brings him down.
This game 9-3 here. About 12 minutes in, it feels like a lot is happening all over the place, but Mirana does get another pick off for herself, getting 40R, taking down the Storm Spirit, and they take the tier 1 tower. And that all happened after they'd taken out the offlaner Darkseer in the bottom lane. And now CNB looking to get something going for themselves as they try to take the tier 1 tower on the top lane, quickly trying to clear out the creeps here. A little help on the way here as Mirana's making her appearance, but no other backup to come just yet.
Yeah, I think they should probably defend this tower. I don't really see a reason to let it go just to the Ember, but it doesn't look like they're going to be honest. We're going to try to get the Nye with Mirana.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Might be Vendetta time as well for this Nyx assassin. He's looking to make a run up the river, waiting to pop it out, but not yet. Oh, the tower does get denied. Very nice coming out from Mirana. There's a sleight of fist, but they have to be cautious here. Oh, arrow will not catch. Oh, and nice sidestep. The jukes coming out, the shuffle step, if you will, from Baga, able to avoid the impale, and he will be surged out into safety. So, bit of a
that
trade.
qualifies as a fail fish right there.
Bit of a small fail fish there. Just a little too jukey for him, and CNB end up taking the tower in the end.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate for them all around, but at least they denied the tower there. So they would have loved to get a follow-up kill. It would have made that a lot easier to swallow, but now we have Netbone in the bottom lane just hanging out. It looks like they want to try to get a kill on this Naga, but she's in the jungle. It's an illusion in lane, so they're not going to be able to do that quite yet. 40R hiding over in the secret shop. All the meanwhile, Viper has found himself the mechanism, picking up full treads, bottle as well, so this is a very nicely timed mech considering all the other items he's bought.
Yeah, he has a reasonable set of farm coming his way, so now he can really add a lot of punishment to these team fights in case they try to take it to the Viper, and he'll be able to take it right back at him. And Naga, as far as quota, nibbling by the, normally around this time we would see someone by the likes of like Arteezy quickly picking up his, radiance and getting online. But 3K gold right now for Nova at about 3 minutes or 13 minutes and 30 seconds in is not terrible. He's going to be working with really nice time. He's fighting the farm in the jungle, not getting threatened too much. He's playing it very safe for a Naga, and I like it. It's working out for her. She's going to get a radiance in pretty good time.
It looks like he has spent a little bit of extra money. He bought a Bringu Aquila, which is not usual for a mid lane, but they usually buy a bottle, so I guess there's a little substitution there. But he also bought a full magic wand, which is a considerable amount of gold at this point. That would have been enough to get him his relics, so he's farming just fine.
Yep. Potential action here top. Jericho quickly scouts out. He's going to go for the glimpse here and bring him back. Yes, he is. Surge is not going to help you here, Cyril. Followed up with a Static Storm and an Impale and more to follow, and this Ember Spirit is going to be gone. Iwo steps in just in time to pick up the last hit. Very nice for him, but all in all, the Ember will be taken down. A very solid pickup coming out for Union Gaming.
This Ember is not adapted to the new patch yet. He only has 3 points in chains and already started going for points in Flame Guard. So, Song in the mid lane though. They're going to engage on Baga.
Yep, they're trying to make something happen.
Bad.
This is a very appetizing dragon, and they get it done. Quickly take down Baga like he's nutting. And then defend the tower.
Yeah, like I was saying, he didn't get the 4th point in chains, so he only has 2 seconds of disable. That's a pretty big difference. I think it's definitely worth picking up that 4th point now. 1 point in Flame Guard is not great, so interesting. I mean, it seemed he probably honestly just forgot.
And touching base here with Ned on his Sand King. He's got 1,400 gold, trying to build forward towards that Blink Dagger. Wants to be a nice crucial impact in these team fights, be a strong initiator, and pair that side by side with this Storm Spirit who's still trying to get a little bit more farm for himself. I mean, not the best for him right now. I mean, the top 3 net worth all going in favor of Union Gaming. It's looking a little bit like last game. They're taking early control. It's all going to come down to if they can hold on to it.
Yeah, this game's getting really ugly for CNB. Like, at this point, they honestly have nothing going for them. They pretty much, I don't know if they lost top, but they definitely didn't win top. So that's a big problem because their Ember is not very farmed. I mean, it looks like he's going to be working towards a drum now. Storm has, like, absolutely nothing, actually. There's nothing on the courier, right? This is a huge problem. Like, Storm should already have an Oblivion staff at this point, maybe even 2. But 0-2, only 42 CS, really not able to get anything done. And just infinite room for this Naga, almost towards the Radiance now. And I think with the Radiance online, they're going to have some serious issues ever really, like, leaving their tier 2 areas. The lanes are going to be so pushed in.
They do manage to get a tower for themselves. It's a very, very small victory for them, but they'll take what gold they can, but they're going to have to trade over the tier 1 in the bottom lane and hand it over to Union Gaming. It is without question that their farm pales in comparison to the heavy farm coming out here from Union Gaming. Naga is well on her way to this Radiance, much before CNB had the opportunity to really get a Radiance Naga of their own going, and it's just looking so grim. Already the rest of their gang just doing so well without her, but by the time she comes online, it's just going to be ridiculous. I mean, they have nothing to compare to what this Naga is going to have to offer, and they're just sitting very confidently here in the bottom lane, looking to pester and take down a tier 2 tower. 2 towers straight, Greg. A lot of gold coming their way, moving towards the 10k gold net or gold lead mark.
And already this Viper is building towards an Aghanims. This is going to be a big problem for a bunch of these heroes, honestly. I mean, Ember, it's not a huge deal since he has Sleight of Fist. For Storm, having attack slow is actually very annoying because you rely on getting those hits off in between your spells to get the overload damage, and that's really where the bulk of your damage is going to come from, so it's a bit annoying for him, and I don't know, this game looks pretty rough for CNB. I think at this point, they're going to be relying on huge Darkseer initiation, and unfortunately just does not have the levels.
I mean, there is always a lingering hope for a big wombo combo factor to make something happen. You know, even if you have to pray for it. Arrow flies out, by the way, only catches a creep. But Remnant going to be thrown out back behind here as a bit of a safety net for himself in case they want to defend. But it looks like they can't really. This Mirana just pestering it down with the illusion and gets it done. Another tower going towards the way of Union Gaming. Only one more outer tower stands now for CNB, and it's looking like they're going to be choked up in their base once again for the second game straight, man. CNB, it doesn't look like they've come to play like Union Gaming have.
Yeah, to be honest, Union looked just way better overall. I mean, they had some pretty weird laning choices in the early part of the game with the Nyx in the top lane, but that being said, it looks like they've made it work out for them, and misses the Impale again.
Misses the Impale, unfortunately. It is definitely pretty tricky, but there's a nice glimpse. Brings him right back, and this is looking like deja vu for Ember Spirit to get caught out, but a nice Sand King to help out, but he's silenced up. He still has the Epi, but not choosing to use it just yet. Instead, they pull back cautiously in the meantime. They don't want to throw anything away, but just as I say that, 40R gets caught out on the Storm Spirit and quickly hands himself over, and that is not good. Not good at all. Very nice glimpse back. This move is ridiculous. Catches out poor little Baga, the twin head dragon, and he will be unmercifully ripped apart. 13-3, Greg. You know what? You had a lot to drink, but it's fine because this might be a pretty short game.
Yeah, I think that that Static Storm was not quite on the mark because there was just no one there that had any damage to actually kill the Ember, but they're still able to get a really nice set of kills there with that glimpse. Yeah. Sometimes that skill just feels so broken. That was definitely one of those instances. He got pulled back from so far.
1800 range. Oh my god, he gets caught out.
Jesus.
Well, that was a bit of karma. He's just kind of farting around in the front of the base trying to get a very aggressive ward, but Ember already knows he's there and quickly takes him down with the help of a little bit of a triple Remnant there. So very nice, classy play coming out for Tavo, but obviously not going to be enough. They're happy to feed over support, but they're not happy to feed over a Viper. They make a jump in, and these two trying to take down Ewo. They might be able to do it. They do. They have all they need to quickly shut down and take out the Viper, and it looks like just Union Gaming getting a little overzealous and kind of lingering around in the wrong side of woods a little too long.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, they're punishing some overextensions here, and if they didn't, they could very quickly lose the game. So they're on the right path now. They need that to happen like 4 or 5 more times, to be honest. But Angel looks like he might make that possible.
Oh, God.
With Nyx. Oh, he gets stunned!
There's a ward right there, but they don't really take advantage. It's almost if they just saw him there, and they're like, wait, what? Who's that? And then they finally made the jump, and, well, big jump coming out from Storm Spirit, but they can't quite get it. He's already too far and long gone. Angel was actually there as well, and they actually could have almost jumped themselves into a big trap, but they pull back for now, and they couldn't quite get the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, this Storm's just not where he needs to be. Storm is like a very farm-reliant hero, and a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, levels are important on Storm, but you really need some items that give you some mana regen to be able to initiate at those long ranges, and he's just so poor at this point. He's got nothing.
That's pretty much the story of all of CNB for now. I mean, even Jakiro's spinning and dancing right around. He doesn't even know where he needs to go at this point and what he needs to do from here on out. I mean, he's there. He's a crucial tool to the team. He adds extra lockdown in case they do get the opportunity. We did see it happen there shortly before, but we always have to forget about the Naga. Naga's now got boots of travel. She's got nearly 1k gold. She's got a radiance, so she hasn't even really begun to bloom into the real bitch that she is.
Things are going to get way harder now. She has the BOTs. The map's just going to be continually pushed in. It's going to be harder for them to secure a Roshan, which is something they really need to get back into this, I think. It might be their only option, to be honest, and it's certainly a lot harder when your lanes are just constantly pushed in by Naga with a Radiance, but they are setting up a fairly aggressive ward. The other bad thing is they've just got no towers on the right side of the map to help them TP over to Roche, so nice job by Union, securing themselves some good map control and just continuing to put on the pressure here. They're just cranking it on. As Viper's actually just gone for the point booster first, then the Yasha, and now I think he'll probably finish the Ags. We've seen this a bunch as well. Just the casual point booster first gives you a lot of mana and a lot of HP. So
yeah, definitely doing the right thing, making it done. Adds a little bit extra damage now, getting the reliable Yasha on hand, but once he moves on and finishes out that Aghanim Scepter, the Viper Strike just becomes pretty ridiculous at that point. It works pretty nicely against the Ember Spirit or anyone else they want to try to additionally kite around. But now, taking down all exterior towers, CNB, it's just feeling very grim. There's no wards outside the base. They really don't know where to go, where to find the farm, and there's a lot of people on their team who could use that farm, but I guess Union Gaming are going to take the time to just push out all of the lanes. Even the Naga Illusions taking part in the bottom, Viper's heading up the mid lane, and the majority on the top. I don't think there's just going to be anywhere for CNB to go. It's going to come down to how good their top hill game is going to be defending the base.
It doesn't seem that promising because, like, Nedbone only has level 1 Epicenter, which is basically negated by the mech, so even that is not really a spell that they have to count on. And finally, the Darkseer is almost level 10, so we'll almost have 1 level in wall. Has picked up the Blink Dagger to go for those good initiations, so I think at this point it's going to come down to the Sand King Darkseer combo. You can get some unbelievably good setups with Vacuum Wall, Burrow Strike, Epi, and that's probably potential for them to win the team fight, especially with Ember Spirit throwing his remnants on top of that, but they're going to have perfect execution.
Well, they're making a go right now and see if they can execute a victory for themselves, as it looks like they made a jump in, and poor Darkseer going to get caught again, already mech'd up, but he gets hit by the kinetic field and will be trapped. Stackstorm flies out right in the middle of the field. Is it going to be enough to stop him? Jericho on the retreat back, but the epicenter is too much and takes him down. Angel might be in trouble as well, pulls out the Moonlight Shadow to get away. Ice Path locks on 2! And temporary saves, but the Song comes in for the cock block. Very nice arrow right in the backside, and he also takes down the Storm Spirit. 3 down all day. Baga barely hanging on by a thread as he waddles himself back to the base to get away from this one. And all day, 2 for 3 trade. Union Gaming still on top, but can't quite break the hill. So I don't know where this leaves us.
Can't get there quite yet. Naga's not very good at pushing buildings at this point. Like, you do a lot of creep damage, but actually killing buildings is really hard without, like, a Manta. And it looks like she's going for that, but still not quite there.
It's a lot of dirty illusions to come if she does complete that Manta. I'm definitely not a fan of that, just going against it, but in her favor, it's very nice. I know when I play with a Naga on my team, I'm just happy with glee. But they're making a go, they catch out. Very nice Burrow Strike with the help of Surge. Arrow to fly will shut down the Sand King once again. He's going to be hitting a lot of damage. Mechanism will temporarily help, and even a temporary, but nope, gets taken down immediately. So Kinetic Field will lock Darkseer in place, and he will also fall. Ewo trying to get away from this one, taking a lot of punishment, but this man can take a beating. Storm Spirit jumping on through, but now about out of mana, trying to kite away back and forth with Jericho and supports, but on the other side of things, Ewo does catch off another and quickly takes apart Tavo the Ember Spirit. So another core to fall in the end, and Union Gaming still on top, taking 3 down all day. A few of them are wounded, but 19 and 7, they're sitting very pretty right now.
That was pretty YOLO by the Storm Spirit. He went way past the team there to try to get an initiation in the back, but he just doesn't have the items to do it. Doesn't have an Orchid, so it's not nearly as good. And now they've set themselves up in a really bad situation. They really were relying on the Ember spam on the low ground to help slow down this push. Now they're just left with hope that the Sand King can make something happen with this Darkseer, who is level 10 and did not put a level in wall.
Little Burrow Strike to temporary taunt and scare back the Union Gaming group from making it go in, but the tier 3 did end up falling. It's just something you just can't prevent when there's just so many Nagas coming out and all these illusions with all this hefty damage. So it's feeling pretty rough. She's nearly complete your Yasha now. Actually, she's got it now. Quickly acquires that. We'll throw it in her pocket and just add that to her arsenal.
I have absolutely no idea why this Darkseer didn't get wall at 10. It seems like that was something that they really should have been relying on. Maybe he maxed out Vacuum, but I think 3 levels of Vacuum and a level of wall is better than no wall. So
I would have definitely opted for level 3 Vacuum and at least 1 in wall by this point. If it's at this point in the game and they're looking to breach the hill, the wall is so big. Well, they're actually going to sneak in a Roche, though. They know they have plenty of space to work with. There's no towers for CNB to TP2 to try to help out, so this should be relatively easy here. And Well, I think in the meantime, CNB need to kind of step back and not get caught out. But speaking of getting caught out, it looks like Naga, way up in the top, gets the brunt end of a big gank coming from CNB, and they quickly take her down. But all in all, they still get Roche. They get that extra bit of gold to get the Aegis. It's going to go in the pocket of Angel there, and they step back, and not too bad.
That's when you say worth it in chat, because getting the Roche there is much bigger than Naga dying. I mean, she's going to be up in 40 seconds. She has BOTs. She can go right to the base if they're sieging. So that's a good kill for CNB to pick up, but at the cost of Roche, definitely not ideal.
Yep, and we'll see. Darkseer, you gotta get some levels. You gotta get that wall, baby. You're gonna need to use it on top of the hilltop when it comes time to defend the big base here. Couple of knuckleheads here in the bottom lane. The Viper Mirana duo looking to push it in and push it out. Now looking to move through the jungle and acquire more farm for themselves. Mirana at this point is building herself into a very, very nice carry role. Mjolnir complete. Now Aegis on hand. She'll be able to put out a lot of damage in these fights, and I think I'll be able to tip my fedora at her in the near future.
She's super farmed. 6-1, 124 CS, 7 assists as well. Union Gaming have just executed this extremely well. Everything is going according to plan. Their Nyx has more gold than the Ember Spirit, so that's great.
Maybe they were listening to the studio, because when they were talking about the NA qualifiers, a lot of people were thinking that Union Gaming should have not been invited into that, and it should have been Asurus instead. So now they're looking to perform and show why they deserve a spot in the qualifier. Yeah, I mean, I think Union Gaming is great. I mean, they have been struggling a lot, but right now, they're trying to take it to Darkseer. Oh, the mechanism will save him, but very nice Mjolnir will hopefully proc enough, and it will, but Mirana ends up falling. Aegis will have to be popped. Glimpse to go back here on Tavo, and he will be able to remnant himself away. But all in all, two-man takedown here. Now they have numbers, and now they maybe look to take the high hill. But yeah, a lot of people were thinking that Union Gaming were the bottom of the list as far as being invited to the qualifiers, and maybe someone else should have taken their place. But tonight, they're showing that they're good.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that. They did pretty well in the Summer Few qualifiers, too. They ended up in, I guess you could call it second/third place.
Yeah, they were in the semis, almost made it into the finals.
Yeah, third/fourth place, I guess. So, I don't know. I think Union are pretty good, and they definitely have a nice showing right now. They're going to take down Tabo as well. I think sometimes their laning choices are a little bit unconventional, or maybe a little bit loose. If you're a Magic player, that term will be familiar to you. But just like if they clean that up, they tighten it up a little bit, I think they could have a lot of potential to be very good.
Yeah, we'll see if they get it done, but they definitely want to focus down now that they know they are invited here, and they're trying to get the ball rolling on ending out this game and ending out the 9-2-0 series, as Jakira will eventually be picked up by Iwo, who's looking to go to town right in the base, takes out another Gift Red Banda, Volvo. Congratulations on your prize. Arrow to fly, trying to secure him back in the base, and they're going to make a go on what looks like the second set of racks. They're going to call it the GG. No surprises there from Baga. The white flag is raised, and we're going to call it a night, and poor CNB are going to have to extend their loss streak 4-0 as they get cleaned out tonight. Union Gaming, though, props to them, winning both games, being very impressive, and just showing how a Naga needs to be played. Get that farm quickly and just quickly clean house. And, well, Greg, any thoughts on that game before we call it a night?
IWO was a huge factor as well. He crushed his lane, expectedly, to be honest, but then he quickly got great item choices with the Asha, with the mech. He was able to output a ton of damage in the mid game and carry them through there and just securing some space for the Naga. I think him and Angel were definitely the playmakers for UG.
Yep, great stuff, great showing tonight. You know, hopefully Mott is going to be feeling better. Greg, thanks so much for stepping in and helping out for game number 2. We're going to go ahead and call it